number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes, getting it done any means, get rid of these snakes. Now I'm up on my stakes, going all in like step, get rid of these breaks. Now I ain't never gonna break, double my pace till I go down one of the greats. One of the greats, whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Can't believe I'm doing this.
Having fun, so that's all.
We like the life. All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast, the number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business. This is episode 206. 206. I'm Christian Brindle, joined with Glenn Shelton as
hello.
Always. Happy Monday, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. How are you? I'm excited to see you next week.
That's right. That's right.
A week from today.
A week from today, we will be reunited.
We will be in each other's warm embrace once again.
Once again. Far too long. It's funny, you know.
There's going to be some people speculating from the opener of this show.
Speculating in person versus speculating from afar. It's funny. People ask me all the time. They're like, how often do you and Glenn see each other in person with you guys living in two different states? You run this big business together. You guys see each other like once a month. I'm like, once or twice a year, usually, maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year, I think, is usually what it is. Very, very interesting stuff indeed.
I have something slightly controversial to kind of open up the show today. This has been very polarizing from the moment I brought this up. I don't know why. This seems like something that everyone should agree on, in my opinion. Mr. Brindle, if you had to pick between a chain basketball net and a string basketball net, do you have a preference? I brought this up. The second I got my hoop when I moved into this house, I wanted a chain net. Sounds like a cash register when you hit that swish.
Sure.
My family was very against it. They're like, that's like for parks. That's how you destroy the basketball. I'm like, guys, it's amazing. Like chain nets. I'm all about it. Mr. Brindle, what do you think?
You know, I like a chain net. And my argument about the basketball is I'll buy another ball.
Yes, that's exact. Yes, literally cut from the same. I'm like, $50 every 6 months? It's not like the one shot's gonna destroy the basketball, guys. Like, come on.
And you know, sometimes it's nice to feel like I'm playing a little street ball when I hear that ching, that clang. You know,
yeah,
the illusion,
like
the illusion,
sure. Yeah, the
illusion that I am a street hooper is worth every second of having to get another ball every 6 months, maybe twice a year.
That's right. Respect. I want to be like Andrew Lee when I grow up. You know, I want to hit the streets of LA and just hoop. You know, that's what I'm hoping.
You know, I don't want to talk about this much at all.
We all know what this is. We all know what this is.
Just a tiny bit of reaction, I guess. You know, since we did our last pod on Friday.
Yes.
Over the weekend, the online communities have just raged about this NABIP thing, you know. And for the record, I made a post about it. But for the record, I'm 100% lost my interest in talking about this. You know, it's so exhausting. There's a very small amount of very loud people. I think the vast, that are super against everything, apologists and things like that. I think we did a really good job kind of going about this thing, and depending on what transpires, who knows, maybe we talk about it again. But as of right now, I couldn't be more excited to get back to insurance topics this week.
Likewise. I've already said it before that there's nothing else to say, so I don't know why we would keep talking about NABIP. But then we ended up talking about NABIP again. So, I can't see into the future. Maybe something happens where we feel it's worthy of another conversation. But I think the biggest problem to me, especially this weekend, and just seeing some of the comments, some of the fallout, the deep insurance state has come after Christian once again for things that were said on this show. But the number one problem to me is that people think we're trying to pick a side. We are essentially Switzerland. We are members with questions. That's it. That's it. It's really that simple. I don't know why this has been spun into something so much bigger. Like it's us versus them. It's liberals against Democrats. It's red versus blue. It's purely just open-ended questions. That's it. That's literally it. But I guess some people, and that's where it gets kind of scary though, is like if we're at the point where I can't ask a question about an organization that I'm a member of without some type of blowback, it like what, I don't get it. I don't know. That's really all I have to say, I think, about it.
The biggest thing I think I saw over the weekend was, did you pick up the phone and call Susan before you talked about this? I'm like,
pick up the phone.
I
don't have a bat phone to Susan.
Yeah, I'm like, do you have her number you could have shared with me? Like,
yeah,
how do we do that? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just found myself exhausted by trying to reason with these people. It's like, did you talk to Susan? Did you talk to this person? Did you talk to that person? I'm like, how do I talk to that person?
Like, no, but I will say,
what are you saying?
And we mentioned this last week. We've held an open invitation. Every single person that's come to us to talk about this behind the scenes, we've invited to come on the show to speak publicly. We have wanted the dialogue for sure. We're not against the dialogue, both behind the scenes and right here on camera, on air with you guys. So, by all means, I would love to have Susan on the show, to be honest. I think it would be super refreshing. I guess I have to mention this too, is I keep hearing the 100-year. Do you keep hearing that too? The organization's been around for.
I only saw it the one time.
I've gotten it probably three. I've gotten it probably 3 times, and I'm just like, okay. What does the age of the organization have to do with anything, right? Like, if it's a brand new organization or if it's a 100-year-old organization, I'm going to judge it under the same lens. Like, I don't care if it's a 10,000-year-old organization. Like, it's all getting the same treatment, I guess. I don't know. That's one of those like red herring arguments that I've been really confused about as well.
Yeah. It's like, what does that have to do with whether there's something right or wrong being done right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it.
Anyway, kind of interesting. All right, let's move into sponsor, get into get into the main topic today.
Final thoughts.
Let's
go ahead and wrap. Let's go ahead and wrap up, guys.
Happy Monday, guys. Goodbye.
Strong 9 minutes to start this.
Guys, this episode of the 7 Figures or Buzz podcast, episode 206, is brought to you none other than the 7-Figure Blueprint event. Guys, if you couldn't get a ticket to come in person and you want to take in the content that's going to be shared and see the presentations and hear from the speakers, just as a reminder, this is March 24th, so literally next week. If you want to hear from myself, Glenn Shelton, Andrew Saul, Tyler and Jessica McDaniel, Anna Patrick, who I had a very lovely call with last week, Taylor Martin, Lester Kahn. All you have to do if you couldn't make it in person is we have a live stream option available. It is only $47. You'll also get the recordings for lifetime access after the stream if you can't watch live. So highly recommend checking it out, reserving the live stream if you haven't already, and hopefully our team can drop the link to that in the chat of this pod. But 7-Figure Blueprint event, that is the sponsor of episode 206.
Don't miss it. I know a lot of you can't travel, and that's totally fine. Grab the recording, watch the live stream. I think it's going to be some really, really great content. I mean, it's a fraction of a single policy. Woodcup, you write one extra policy over the next 2 years from this one recording, this one live stream. It will pay for itself over and over and over again. So don't miss it. We'll make sure that link, again, is in the comments below the stream, right here in the 7-Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group. Also, we had Freebie Friday last Friday. We gave away the recording to 5 lucky winners. So if you didn't already get confirmation, shoot an email over to leads, L-E-A-D-S, leads at leadheroes.com, or just comment below and we'll make sure you guys get access.
Yes. Throwback, you could have sold back in the day one PDP app when that was a thing.
Kaboom.
It could have paid for this, right? So throwback to you PDP slingers that are out there. Formerly
Lots
PDP
of them.
slingers. Formerly. All right, let's shift gears into this topic, this main topic today. So there was a bit of buzz about some statements that were made by our own CMS administrator, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Dr. Mehmet Oz, he's actually here with me today.
Yes, he joins us in person. Maybe he can answer for some of these comments later on in the show. I'm going to share my screen and jump into an article, and I thought we could kind of break this down and react. So let's jump in. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is an article by Wired. It's titled, Dr. Oz Pushed for AI Healthcare in First Medicare Agency Town Hall. Dr. Oz, who now controls the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and its $1.5 trillion budget, promoted the idea that AI avatars could replace frontline healthcare workers. So let's jump in. What's Mr. Mehmet talking about here?
Oh, all right, Mehmet.
It starts off by saying Dr. Mehmet Oz, the new administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, spent much of his first all-staff meeting on Monday promoting the use of artificial intelligence at the agency and praising Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I lost your audio, sir. I lost your audio. You're muted. Christian. You were muted there from you. I was trying to get your attention while you're
I feel like maybe you should share these because I can't see you when I'm sharing the screen. How much of that did you hear?
Not much. We lost you early there, sir.
Well,
that's a good recap.
let's do a recap there. Sorry, right. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so
it's Monday, guys.
I'll just start from scratch. I'll start from the top. Okay. So Dr. Mehmet Oz, the new administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, spent much of his first all-staff meeting on Monday promoting the use of artificial intelligence at the agency and praising Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again initiative, sources tell Wired. During the meeting, Oz discussed possibly prioritizing AI avatars over frontline healthcare workers. Oz claimed that if a patient went to a doctor for a diabetes diagnosis, it would be $100 per hour, while an appointment with an AI avatar would cost considerably less at just $2 an hour. Oz also claimed that patients have rated the care they've received from an AI avatar is equal to or better than a human doctor. Research suggests patients are actually more skeptical of medical advice given by AI. Because of technologies like machine learning and AI, Oz claimed it is now possible to scale good ideas in an affordable and fast way. So initial reaction to that.
I guess this is the end. I guess we've reached the end of the line. I guess we're replaceable now. I mean, he's not wrong, I guess, would be my true initial reactions. Like, in some ways, AI has improved to where, I mean, admittedly, if I have a list of symptoms and I plug it into, ChatGPT or some other AI tool, I feel like it's getting a lot better at offering medical diagnoses. So, I don't know, like, it's kind of an unfortunate truth. Now I wouldn't go as far right now to say like it's going to replace a human, it's going to replace a medical provider, but it's also improved a lot. There's kind of a gray area. I feel like we're in between right now.
Yeah. Article continues. CMS has explored the use of AI for the last several years, according to archived versions of an agency website dedicated to the topic. And the agency released an updated AI playbook in 2022, so 4 years ago. But those efforts appear to have focused on finding ways to leverage vast CMS data sets rather than involving AI directly in patient care. Quote, Dr. Oz brings decades of experience as a physician and an innovator to CMS. We are not going to respond to deliberately misleading leaks about a nearly hour-long meeting he held with all CMS staff, said a CMS spokesperson Catherine Howden in an email statement. All right.
That sounds that's an interesting kind of twist there. I don't know. What are your thoughts on like information from the meeting leaking?
Sounds a little defensive.
Sure does. That doesn't sound good, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not information they wanted to get out.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. Exactly. That's the same thing I'm hearing.
So that's certainly interesting. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
The article continues. The Senate confirmed Oz as CMS's new administrator on April 3rd. CMS, which runs Medicare, Medicaid, and healthcare.gov, is part of the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, where healthcare conspiracist RFK Jr. currently serves as department secretary. That's quite the way to describe our current head of HHS. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's probably a lot of people that are listening that would agree with that, but
I mean, he
article.
Well, I mean, he bucks the trend, right? Like, that's his whole thing, is he's kind of going against the grain with a lot of previous HHS leadership and kind of what they've dictated. So I understand why they're saying it, but yeah, there's kind of an exclamation on they're trying to be kind of, catchy and edgy with what they're saying, I feel like.
Yeah. CMS spent more than $1.5 trillion in fiscal year 2024, which accounted for more than 1/5 of total government outlays. The agency employs nearly 7,000 employees and provides healthcare coverage for almost half of U.S. current CMS employees. Describe the agency as the most policy-dense organization in government, where the administrator must make decisions on where to spend billions of dollars on certain treatments in a zero-sum environment. That's kind of an interesting statement there. Okay. Quote, please join incoming CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz and other senior leaders to learn more about his vision and priorities for CMS, stated the meeting description, which was called on for Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an internal event, and all CMS staff are invited to participate virtually. Staff who are on site at CMS office locations should consider gathering in available offices or conference space. Oz has seemingly never worked in healthcare policy before, but served as a physician for many years before becoming the star of the Dr. Oz show. he has promoted a number of probably incorrect medical tips, including the use of hydrochloridine and chloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine?
Oh,
Hydrochloroquine?
Thank you. As treatment for
You're welcome.
COVID. And weight loss pills that Oz admitted in 2014 Senate subcommittee hearing don't have the scientific muster to present as fact. He also unsuccessfully ran for a Senate seat in Pennsylvania, losing to current Senator John Fetterman. So anyway, this article kind of continues from there. And admittedly, this is my first time reading through it. I felt like he might have said something about people enrolling into Medicare, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah. Seems like there's a lot of emphasis in this article. I don't know if Wired's just...
Could be just a politically leaning...
Yeah, it feels very
organization. I have no idea in terms of their political leanings. Definitely seems to lean towards one side.
Yeah, which anyway, again, for the average bear, that's what I get nervous about. Is if you're uninformed, you come in here and you buy into the slant. I guess I wish it was a little more neutral. Seems like they're really attacking Dr. Oz and RFK absolutely. Jr. in here. Yeah,
this is interesting. Okay, so I think it does get to Medicare as we go on. I think I'm getting impatient. Oz spoke at length during the meeting about obesity in the U.S. and what it costs CMS without citing any provable statistics. He said that addressing obesity was one of his top priorities. The Biden administration has suggested that Medicare and Medicaid cover costs for weight loss drugs, an initiative that the Trump administration has so far declined to expand. Oz has repeatedly drawn criticism for promoting miracle weight loss cures on the Dr. Oz show. Okay, we get that. I'm not sure he knows what we do here, said one CMS employee who listened to the call. He was talking about nutrition and exercise. That's not what Medicare does. We care for people in nursing homes. We deal with dying people. So, kind of interesting. I think the initial conversation surrounding this is if they think in the future of the healthcare system is there's AI being able to give medical diagnoses, which is far more complex than insurance, right?
Right.
What's to say that it can't provide insurance advice and even do enrollments for people into plans? And I think that's the big fear.
Hey, we lost your audio again. Your audio. Yeah, I mean that was kind of my first takeaway too, is like if we're already at the point where we're talking about healthcare being provided by AI, even if it's just a simple, telehealth conversation, right? It's not necessarily doing anything major, even if it's just the introduction to healthcare that AI is starting to take over. It does lead to the broader question, of what else can AI start to do, especially if it's already being implemented at that level. So that was kind of one of the main concerns when I first saw the headline. But it, I still think it's probably years away before this is a real conversation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I saw a headline and I didn't see it in here. This seems like to only provide certain information in this article, but I thought I saw a headline that said something about AI being able to do Medicare quoting and enrollments and answer questions for CMS by the end of 2026, something like that. Could be like a different focus from that same meeting, I could have swore I saw that. Let me see if I can find that. Hang on just a second here, boys and girls.
Really curious what was discussed in the meeting that they were so defensive about. That's what I'm really curious about. He's like, we ordered several robots from Elon. They will be the first robot insurance agents and doctors.
Okay. Found a different article. I'm just looking through it super quickly to see. Okay, so this article says AI nihilism is a barrier to better healthcare, says CMS lead. So essentially saying that the skepticism of it is actually the biggest obstacle of it actually being the future and providing a lot of help. Let's see. I don't see anything, though, that mentions specifically insurance or quoting in here. I think the biggest thing, though, is this is a broader topic, right? If like this is the focus of the
he came
the agency going forward.
Didn't Oz talk about implementing AI in his like introduction speech when he was first being nominated for this position? Like that very first interview that did that we covered.
You mean the interrogation?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that an interview,
right?
The Senate Finance Committee hearing.
The
yeah,
Senate,
he did.
Yes. He did mention this. Yeah,
he did talk about that quite a bit. I do think there's a lot of agents. If you polled agents, especially the more skeptical ones, the biggest fear I think a lot of them have is them not being necessary and AI coming in and taking their place. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I have a lot of thoughts as well, but initially, like knowing that that's a big focus of the agency, they're talking about replacing doctors potentially for simple diagnoses. What is your initial thought about that? Would you think it's a real fear? What do you think about that?
I think it's something that will probably, again, in the near future of 2 to 5 years, could something like AI being implemented into healthcare where like a telehealth conversation's being handled by AI. I think it's possible. I think accessibility to healthcare is a really big topic. I think that they're always looking for ways of, how can I get, because again, if you can get a telehealth conversation done with someone and the raw cost is $2 per hour and it's relatively accurate, it's 98% accurate. That means more people should get access to healthcare, right? I mean, that's in theory, right? Capitalism could come in and swoop it and increase that cost 100 times. But that to me, that would lead to broader implementation. If we're getting, cheap but high quality access to healthcare into more people's hands, and it's working and they start testing it, then yeah, I do think this is something that could be implemented broadly. And and is it something we should be scared about though? I don't think so. I mean, again, even in a situation, if this service existed right now and I could pay for it, sign up, use it, I'm sure there would have to be a doctor involved on the back end. There's no way they're signing off on an AI service giving you a prescription, giving you a controlled substance, right? So it's like, it's the same way AI is being used now. It's a really powerful tool. And I think it could be a doctor's, really powerful tool. But a doctor would still be involved in the process, right? I mean, it's not like they're removing doctors with AI. That's good.
Sure. I was more meaning towards like the agent looking at this and saying if they can automate doctors' diagnoses with AI,
what does that say about us?
They can't? What is it? Who's to say that they can't do it on insurance quoting, Medicare plan quoting, enrollments, that type of thing? That's more what I meant. I think that's where a lot of agents are looking at this, and they're feeling fear. I don't think they're feeling any fear on like the doctor's office side of things. But I think it's more of like connection to giving a medical diagnosis is probably more complicated in most cases than doing an insurance policy. So if they can do that, who's to say they can't do this? That's kind of more what I was curious about. So
maybe it falls into the same paradigm of it becomes a really useful tool for us, and it's doing all the introduction work. Maybe it's even taking the application, but it's coming back. It's something, like a modern insurance quoter that you could embed on your website. If you were to go back in time 50 years ago, something like that would seem like black magic, right? You're like, someone can come to a website for my agency. They can get the price of their insurance and all of it comes to me. And then I just have to write the application. That's insanity. That sounds so futuristic. Well, maybe now it's doing, the underwriting, it's collecting all the information, but you're still the salesperson at the back end of this funnel, right? You're still the person that's legally responsible for those applications. Maybe you still have to be the one that's looking it over. I'm trying to show a future where we're not immediately erased, because this would at least happen in stages, right? I mean, assuming our extinction was on the horizon, let's just, for sake of argument here, let's assume AI is coming to eliminate us some point in the next 2 to 20 years. Wouldn't this happen in stages, right? Wouldn't there be something like what I'm describing, where you're going to kind of be legally responsible, you're in charge, you're signing off on it, you're sending people into your AI funnel? Don't you think that's a more likely next step before we're just obliterated off the map and they get rid of insurance agents, like we're not needed anymore?
But Glenn, no one saw Skynet coming. It didn't happen in stages. It just set off the nukes. No, I agree. I think what I think people don't understand about AI is it's going to be for some time, in my opinion. And who knows what it evolves into after that? Then we're Skynet territory. Then it's setting off the nukes. But I think we got some years left before we all explode.
For sure.
You remember that scene in Terminator 2 where she sees the playground and she's like, there's like the chain link fence. She's like, get away, and then the nuke goes like, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I think for the time being, and for some time, I really do believe this, I think it's going to be a tool to be used to get more done and increase efficiency for said doctor, for said insurance agent, for said insurance agency.
Can I give an example of this too?
Real quick. Okay.
Yeah, finish your thought. Yeah.
With any type of insurance sales right now, an AI can only do an enrollment if it can't do it today. Let me make that clear. But let's say a few years from now it could. The AI still needs it still needs people to talk to, right? They're like, there's someone that needs to be running the show, running the business. It's no different to me than like somebody having an LOA team. They still have to produce business to be written by that team. They need to manage the accounting. They need to do the marketing. They need to do the branding. They need to make sure that things are in place. Like, I think it ultimately ends up being a tool to increase efficiency, but I don't look at it as like this entity that's doing everything completely on its own without any type of human interaction. I don't think it's capable of that. I don't think it will be, maybe even in our lifetime. It needs something or someone pulling the strings. Yeah,
I mean, you really get into the future on this. You're talking about AGI. Even if we achieve something from a technology standpoint, where a chatbot essentially is as smart as a human being, right? I mean, in some ways we're kind of close to it, in other ways we're really not. But even if we achieve AGI, I do still think there's going to be a unique human value that just can't really be implemented into technology or into computers. It's also, they talk about it like with airplanes as well. Another example of this, right, is like an airplane can be mostly automated now, guys. Like, honestly, the pilot's basically there just in case, right? I mean, look at some of the automobiles are getting close to the same level of technology, right? Where you're just going to be sitting behind the wheel, but you can't, in that comparison with the automobile industry, you can't not sit in the driver's seat. Somebody has to be in the driver's seat. Somebody has to be held responsible. Someone has to be able to step in when the technology doesn't work, when the technology breaks, when it doesn't see that wall, it doesn't see that curve in the road. And I think that's really how it'll be for us. Honestly, the more we talk about this, the more I feel like it's even further away. Like, honestly, you look at all these other industries. But the other example I wanted to give too is we were just talking about some of the final expense products last week in our industry. And when I look at how far the final expense industry has come, and I guarantee you with some of these products, wouldn't you agree AI is probably baked into some of these final expense products, especially with the underwriting? Don't you think there's basically some AI underwriting potentially happening?
I mean, there's no question. And it has been, I think, for some time on the med side too. Anytime a carrier is doing automated underwriting, it's AI that's underwriting it and passing a decision. More complicated cases still get, kicked back to the carrier itself, and there's a physical underwriter taking a look at it. But the majority of cases are probably being completely decided by AI. That's not a new thing, by the way. That's been going on for 3 to 5 years in some cases. So I think that's a great point. This is what I think about. I've said this before on the show, and maybe this is the simpleton in me. But
I'm a simple man.
I'm a simple man. Simple man. I'm actually not. I'm actually one of the most complex human beings that I know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair statement.
I think that's stressful to everyone around me. But for the simpleton in me, can't help but notice all of the extremely low-level jobs that are still out there. And I think
another
about
great point.
How much more complex what we do as agents is versus what they do. I'll give an example. This morning, I'm driving to work, and I really wanted a coffee. God damn it, did I want it? And so I stop somewhere, stop at a window, and I'm going through the window. There's no AI involved. There's a person talking to me on the speaker. Hey, good morning. What would you like today? and I'm like, hey, can I get a coffee?
Can I get a cup of caramel with a splash of coffee, please?
Yeah. I'm like, I'll get an iced coffee with caramel, please. and then, oh, you want black coffee? No, I want a caramel coffee. Black coffee, right? No, please don't give me black coffee. Oh, what do you want then? It goes back and forth 6, 7, 8 times. I get to the window. They hand me this cup of sludge that's not mixed. It's like, it's like oil and water. They're like separated, And I'm like, what is this? They're like, yeah, just take a straw and stir it up. I'm like, are you supposed to do that for me? Like, aren't I supposed to have it ready to go? Like, those jobs are still out there, and that person still keeps their job today.
100%.
They hand me a cup of slush. I go into the supermarket. There's someone scowling at me if I go through the checkout line. Now, there's a lot of self-checkout lines. There's less physical cashiers, but they're still there. There's still a bagger there glaring at me, and they do glare. They don't smile.
I think especially when we're talking about the AI conversation and the way technology is going, I think once robotics catches up, which robotics is also close. Just saw a video of, these robots dancing, and they compared how the robots can dance in 2026 compared to how it could dance even just last year. The complexity of their dance, which this sounds so silly to be talking about robots dancing, but here we are. It's 2026. The dancing robots in 2026 could do some very impressive. I mean, we're talking break dancing, back flips, front flips, compared to the robots in 2025 that were just like this, basically. You know, they're doing like the Trump dance, basically. They're just like moving their arms. So when robotics catches up, and they can marry the AI technology to the robotic technology, I think we're going to see a lot of these low-level jobs potentially go away. But again, that's still most likely years and years away before you're driving up to a Wendy's and it's a literal robot going, just like handing you your Frosty out the window.
I have said for over a year now, and I've been criticized for saying this, they'll probably get my order right more often than not. They'll probably do a better job than the people now.
Okay. I've mentioned this on the show before. I just ordered a Domino's pizza less than 2 weeks ago. They have an AI service that collects your order when you call in. I'm assuming this is nationwide. I don't know if maybe it's regional, but my Domino's, it's an AI service. Since it's been implemented, I've probably ordered 3 times. It's never worked. I've either gotten my order delivered and it was wrong. I had to scream at it to try to connect me to a human being because it couldn't understand what I was saying. Or again, it took forever before I got it how I want. So if they can't take my pizza order over the phone, but you guys want to freak out about us losing our jobs, like to really come full circle on this, like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I would agree. I think it's an amazing tool. I think there's things you can be using right now in your business, which we've been training on, by the way, at Figure University, shout out. On all different types of things, creating apps, creating tools, creating websites in minutes, through very accurate prompts, creating chatbots, creating ad copies, creating marketing graphics, whatever it is. There's so many different things that it can be used for to help your business right now. I really do look at it from the perspective of 5 to 10 years ago, we were talking about automation. It's automation up a notch.
Yep.
It's more advanced automation right now. Yeah. I really think that's what it is.
That's fair.
I don't think it's really anything that's totally different from anything we've seen before from that perspective. It's a more capable form of automation.
Yeah.
Automation is sending a trigger from one destination to another and then prompting a reaction to that trigger, right? Like sending an email, sending a text message, whatever it is, sending data from one system to another. And 5 to 10 years ago, that was looked at as magic.
Yeah.
Right, by people. I think it's just an advancement of that. And I see people.
Let's take this a step in a little different direction. I mean, do you feel like there's an AI bubble right now? And part of it is because of this type of hype that we're seeing in the media, just like the article, we just covered with Dr. Oz. It's like people can't imagine AI without imagining, Skynet, I guess, essentially, right? Maybe Skynet, this idea of Skynet is so ingrained into our brains that when you hear AI, you assume like the end is coming. Has this created an AI bubble, and do you think it will pop at some point? That we're kind of
I think people will see kind of what it can do versus what it can't do as time goes on. I think like your experience that you just mentioned a second ago with the pizza, like people be like, oh wow, AI pizza delivering service. And they'll be like, oh, my pizza's totally wrong. It's worse than it ever was when a human was taking the order.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. That's literally
what it is. So I think people will. I think right now it's on a hype train, as it should be. It's revolutionary technology, but I don't think it's extinction level technology, at least anytime soon. Real quickly, I have something I need to share with you and the audience.
This has to be a Skynet clip. This has to be a Skynet clip. Yes, here we go.
And that's me.
Yeah.
That's me looking at myself.
Hey. Go.
It's gonna get brutal. I don't know how much of this I play.
Somebody get Arnold Schwarzenegger in here.
Oh no!
Oh.
The nukes went off.
Okay.
Oh god! Oh my god! No! Insurance industry! Insurance industry!
No! Underwriting! No!
My client, help me! I'm valuable for my help! Anyway,
But yeah, AI is not going to be the end for sure. Don't ignore the apocalypse 60 seconds you just got.
I helped my clients. I did a good job.
Yeah, but it's media to really bring this back on the rails here. Like it's media like that that has hyped this extermination concept in our brains that anytime we hear AI, we literally jump there immediately and we're like, oh, this is the end. Like this is the end. Technology is going to replace me. Technology is going to completely change how things are. And the reality is, I think it's more of kind of a sloped trajectory. It gets a little bit better and it gets a little bit better. I don't think it's something that's just going to take over the nukes tomorrow. You know, that's I think that's an extremism to say the least.
Right, I'm not going to pull it up, but there's another scene where they're driving and Arnold's a good Terminator now.
Yeah,
and he's telling the story of what happened. He's like they tried to pull the plug. Skynet defends itself. Skynet defends itself.
that's a pretty good voice. It's pretty good.
It's probably a good time to move into final thoughts.
Yeah.
I'll kind of go first, guys. One thing we've been accused of on this show is there was someone that went nuts on us in the comments in the last month. You know, they were like, this is our future, and you're just sitting here making light of it and laughing about it, making it this isn't a joke to some of us. I'm like, you think it's a joke to me? Like,
yeah,
you think my entire livelihood is not built over this, and me being right about this? Yes, it is. That being said, I think logic always trumps emotion when you're analyzing a situation or making decisions. And I think if you look at the state of where things are at with AI right now, logically, I think what Glenn said is the most realistic trajectory. I think it gets a little better. It's a slanted upward slope. And I don't think it's a 90-degree straight up type of situation where all of a sudden the nukes are going off and you're, in a state of euphoria looking at yourself through a chain link fence. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think right now, finding ways to use it, I think, as it continues to evolve and get better, will give you opportunities to understand it better, And as it does get better, it can be more and more useful for your business. That's kind of my overall analysis and my final thoughts.
I thought the Nabip episode was peak, but it just keeps getting better, you guys. Here we are. We're making you watch the nuclear apocalypse right here on the pod. Oh, man. I guess I'll jump into my final thoughts, you guys. I really think that this AI conversation is very overblown. It's been going on for a while now. I don't think this is the end by any means. More than likely, though, what will happen is the people who aren't utilizing the technology, whatever agencies or businesses aren't utilizing the AI technology as it continues to get better, you will be left behind. You will be in the Stone Ages. It'll be like someone in the modern day and age. You don't have a website. You don't have you're not using email. You're just out there writing paper apps like it's 1982. Those are going to be the same. That's going to be the same type of gap you're going to see over the next probably 5 or 10 years as this technology continues to get better and that assist gap gets bigger and bigger. You will be left behind if you're not utilizing it. So, keep an eye on it. Continue to test it, implement it where you can in your business. But at the same time, don't buy into this Chicken Little hype that the world's over, the nuclear apocalypse is coming. So that would be my final thoughts on today's episode, good sir.
Yes. A couple things, pieces of business I want to address before we close. Saw somebody ask, what about this interview with Stormy?
Yes. This is hot, big demand.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, in the last couple of weeks here, I teased the idea of me doing an interview with my wife, Stormy Brindle. She is licensed. She's been an agent on and off. But most importantly, she has seen the entire trajectory of the business.
Yes.
All throughout. We kind of did a little bit of, reverse, look back on the history of everything in the interview. It's well over an hour long. And determined that we started dating like 6 months before I got my license. So she literally saw all of it.
That's crazy.
So to hear about things from her perspective, to kind of hear, her outlook on things from a spouse's point of view, I think is very interesting, and I think should be very valuable to a lot of you, whether you work with your spouse or whether you're doing this on your own. But it's super important that your spouse is supportive and your spouse is, knows what to expect and knows what to understand and knows what their role is in supporting you. I think there's a lot of value for everybody from that perspective. So it'll drop today. It was not supposed to be a live pod, but it will drop today later on.
It had to be heavily edited. It had to be heavily edited, you guys. That's why. Just kidding.
It will drop today on the YouTube channel.
I'm so excited for this. I will be the first. How long is it?
I don't know. I can tell you right now. I don't know, but I can find out. Hang on.
Is it over an hour?
It's an hour and 10.
Oof, that's gonna be solid. I can't wait for this. Everyone's gonna have to watch this. This is gonna be. Have you watched it back yet?
No, not yet. I was saving it to actually watch it back on the channel so we could benefit from the watch hours.
I love it. Yeah, everyone needs to check this out though as soon as it drops.
In addition to that, we will be doing a show Wednesday. We'll be doing a show Friday. I don't know if we're going to do any shows next week. I am probably not on at least Monday or Wednesday, because Glenn and I will be traveling for the 7-Figure Blueprint event down to Dallas, Texas. So for those of you that are avid watchers, just understand we will probably not be doing as many shows next week, but we'll bring you more information on that as it's available. Appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. Do us a favor, smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, whatever the platform of your choice will allow you to do when consuming today's show. And until next time, here's to your massive success. Thanks, everybody.
Happy selling.